Hi guys, my name is Tyler and I'm a freshman at the University of Pennsylvania studying neuroscience. So today I just want to go over Penn's academic system in general and talk about things that could have helped me adjust easier and also tips on how to succeed. Also, if you're interested in Penn or college life in general, make sure to subscribe to my channel. That's what it revolves around for the most part, and yeah, let's get right into it. Today I'm going to focus on the College of Arts and Sciences just because 2/3 of students are in the college, but Penn has the Wharton School of Business, obviously, the School of Nursing, and also the School of Engineering. So at Penn, 1/3 of the classes that students take go towards their major. The college has 63 majors, which can be seen here. You're not stuck with the major that you applied with. You have a little bit of time to figure out exactly what you want to do. Most students declare a major their 4th semester after they've taken some classes in the major and classes in other areas of knowledge. As a freshman, when you're admitted, over the summer you get contacted by your pre-major advisor. This is the person that helps you register for classes at the start and also just helps you figure out what major you want to do. Every semester before you can register for classes, you're required to have a meeting with them and just kind of update them on what you're feeling at that point. But yeah, whatever major you're looking at, on the Penn website you can find all the requirements for it. You can just go down the list and see exactly what you have to take for them. And yeah. Also, Penn has a one university concept, which means that all the 4 undergraduate schools that I talked about earlier, you can have majors between schools. So for example, a student in the college that's studying fine arts or something can also major in nutrition at the School of Nursing. A student that's studying neuroscience at the college can have a minor in healthcare management from the Wharton School of Business. So yeah. The next third of classes that students take are free electives. So free electives are classes that allow students to kind of explore different areas of knowledge and see what they want to do really. These free elective classes can't count towards your major or general education requirements, but they can count towards a second major or a minor, and it also counts towards the total credits that you need to graduate. So the total amount of credit units needed to graduate is somewhere between 32 and 36 depending on your major. There are ways to get extra credits before you get the Penn. You can go to Africana program. It offers a half a credit unit, and the PFP program offers 1 credit unit. So if you go to both of those, and a lot of my friends actually did, you come into Penn with 1.5 classes down. That's something to look at, definitely. So the last third of classes that students take go towards the 7 sectors of knowledge, which is a part of Penn's general education concept. So the general education concept of Penn is made up of a foundational approach and the 7 sectors of knowledge. The foundational approaches are made up of writing, quantitative data analysis, formal reasoning and analysis, cross-cultural analysis, cultural diversity in the U.S., and foreign language requirement. And the 7 sectors of knowledge are made up of society, history and tradition, arts and letters, humanities and social sciences, living world, physical world, and natural sciences and mathematics. I guess this is the thing that kind of sets Penn's curriculum apart. I know Columbia has the core system and Brown has the open curriculum. I guess the general education concept is the thing that kind of differentiates Penn. So yeah. So basically you take classes to fulfill each one of those requirements, and for the foundational approach at least, you take 1 class for each except for language, because the language requirement is just 4 semesters of a language, and it depends on what level you test into. So you could test into the first one, or you could test out of the language requirement in general. So that kind of varies. But yeah, for the 7 sectors of knowledge, you take 1 course to fulfill each of those. And there's 1 general database that details exactly what classes fulfill what requirements. Something that's extremely important to understand with this system is double counting. So double counting is what it sounds like. You can do 1 class that counts as 2 different things, and it helps you get through the requirements a little bit earlier. So with 1 class, you can fulfill a major requirement and a foundational approach, or a sector requirement and a foundational approach. There's a DP article every year where they go through exactly what classes double count. So that's a good thing to look at. It'll be in the description. The thing is, you can't take 1 class to fulfill 2 foundational approaches. So It's either foundation and major or foundation in a sector, but not foundation and foundation. With the sectors of knowledge though, you can only count one major requirement towards the sectors, but you can't do more than that. I would 100% recommend, if you've been admitted already, to go through and see what requirements you need to fulfill and how you're going to fulfill them. Definitely start off with your major and just go through that and see if any of those courses cover the foundational approaches, because you can use an unlimited amount of those. And then after that, go to the sector requirements and see how many of the classes in your major overlap with that, and just pick one that can go towards it. After that, go through the database and write down a few classes on each sector and foundation that you would enjoy taking, and see how many of them overlap. Yeah, so this is my example of it. I just took a screenshot of the database that I was talking about, and basically I started off, like I said, I went through my major and saw how many overlapped with the foundational approaches. A few of my major requirements did overlap, and I also picked the one I was going to use for the sectors. So I picked Bio 101 to go towards the sector. And also, if you're pre-health, pre-law, make sure to look through your requirements, because these technically aren't major requirements, so you can use those to get rid of the sectors. So as you can see, I'm using Physics 101 to get rid of that sector. And after that, I just went through the database and wrote down all the classes that seemed pretty interesting to me. And as you can see, some of them overlap and I can double count them. So for example, religious studies 150, that's something that I thought was really interesting, want to take, and that knocks out the fourth sector and cross-cultural analysis approach. So yeah. All right, so that's Penn's academic system in a nutshell. Now I'm going to switch gears and talk about my experience and how to perform best. Yeah, so Penn's academics are a lot different from what I'm used to from high school. You know, staying in the top percentiles is a lot different than what I'm used to in high school, where I could put in like a little bit of work and still be towards the top. It's really not the same at this point. Everyone's working hard and everyone's on the same caliber, so there's a lot more work than I thought. I've definitely gotten used to it, and I've changed my strategy a lot from first semester to second semester. So these are like my top things that I changed, and they definitely worked. It's weird because I said that this morning I was gonna take my dog on a walk and then come back and film it, and it happened that our grades all dropped right before I made this video, and I did pretty good this semester. Definitely an improvement. I got all A's and 1B, which, I mean, that's not perfect at all, but that's definitely an improvement. So I guess these tips work pretty good. But yeah, how to succeed academically at Penn. So my first and biggest tip is to find a group. This is the biggest thing I wish I understood better my first semester. This isn't high school where you could just learn together as a class and then go home and study by yourself and study for tests by yourself and that type of thing. This is a very collaborative world and space, and you have to learn how to collaborate in order to succeed in these classes. It's just really important to have a group to work with and to study with, because these classes are taught at a caliber that it's really hard to by yourself understand every single thing. Like, you'll definitely, I'm not saying like it's hard to the point where you can't understand things, but there would probably be one detail that you didn't understand, and to have someone that's always there that can explain that detail to you can be the difference between you getting a 6 out of 7 or a 7 out of 7 on a midterm. So it's really important. Outside of that, just having someone in the class that you can ask a quick question is just the best thing ever, because it can save you so much time. Having people in your class that will help you study and are on the same page as you. Outside of all of that, it just makes it more enjoyable to study because you don't feel isolated. You're with your peers, and even if y'all aren't studying together, just having people that you know around you studying across from you, beside you, makes the experience more enjoyable, because after y'all can all go get something to eat, go out, etc., etc. So yeah, find a group. I would definitely recommend that first week that everyone gets there during NSO and during the first few weeks of class, talk to people, get a group. My next tip is to take advantage of all resources. Penn has the Weingarten Learning Center, and the Weingarten Center has many resources that I did not tap into my first semester, and I'm happy I did my second semester. They just have like a lot of workshops and stuff like how to succeed on your first college exam. Like that's very prominent and it's needed. They also have study skills panels where students that have taken a class before will come and explain their study skills and how they studied for the class and performed. And like I mentioned in my last video, they have like study groups that they set up where everyone comes together and group studies for a specific topic, and they have a tutor in the room to help you through it. And many more resources I can't go over in this video, but definitely check out Weingarten and take advantage of every single resource that they have. The biggest resource that people don't take advantage of is the free tutors that they have, and that includes me personally. My first semester, I was like, yo, like I'm smart, like I don't need a tutor and all of that, like I'm fine. I should have gotten a tutor. Make sure that you get one, and if you don't need it, then you can cancel the contract, but I would definitely recommend starting off the year with a tutor in your 2 hardest courses. You get 2 every semester, completely free. Even if you feel like you're gonna understand the concepts and you understand the concepts in the class, having a student that took the class before explain the concepts to you is way more efficient, and they know how the test is gonna work. They know what questions are gonna come up that's the hardest, and they just know a lot about the course. Just having people that have taken the course and just know all about it is the biggest thing with tutors. So yeah, my second semester I took advantage of the tutoring system. I got a tutor in chem and I got a tutor in math, and they were definitely great. My math tutor, he knocked it out of the park, and he's the reason I got an A in the class. Thank you. But yeah, it's just a good relationship to have. It's just a student, so it's not like high pressure where you're coming in and you're meeting up with a 26-year-old. My math tutor was literally in the same year as me. He just took it first semester, and I decided to take it second semester. So yeah. So this tip applies more to the content heavy classes like Bio 101, Chem 101, Econ. Make sure you read ahead in the textbook and take summary notes. You're gonna have the lecture schedule when you get here, so you're gonna know exactly what chapters are gonna be gone over on what days, and it's good to go through and brief yourself on what you're gonna learn, because it makes it way easier to take the information in. When you go in those really content heavy classes, and one lecture is like, it's a lot of writing. Like I've definitely written like 3 pages of notes before in one of my lectures, and like it's really intense. So just going in and kind of knowing what's going on before they explain it can help a lot. Also, with the summary sheets thing, this is really important because a lot of the classes I've taken so far, at least, are formatted with 3 exams and then a final. I usually make one for each chapter or for each midterm right before the midterm. So when I come back to study for finals, I have all these summaries, and it makes it easier. My next tip is to go to office hours. So going to office hours is something that everybody pretty much knows, but the weird thing is that not many people do it, and I'm not even gonna exclude myself. Like I really don't go to office hours all the time. It's definitely good in certain classes. It depends on what teacher is having office hours, and also how many people are in the course. You just have to feel it out basically and see how much you get out of it. It's hard to explain, but it's really just a feel thing. But at this moment, I usually go to office hours when I'm confused about something, but in a perfect world, I would probably go every week, but I don't live in a perfect world, so. And my last tip is don't overwhelm yourself. Do not overwhelm yourself with classes. Do not overwhelm yourself with extracurriculars. Do not overwhelm yourself with social activities. Keep everything in check and everything in balance, because once that balance kind of gets thrown off, it just makes everything a lot more stressful and a lot less comfortable. This semester, I decided to take first level chem, second level bio, math 104, and Spanish. The math, chem, and bio class are kind of like content heavy, and I definitely felt overwhelmed at times, especially when all the exams lined up to be on the exact same day or the exact same week. So I would definitely try, if you could, to take 2 heavy classes and then the rest of your classes be kind of more getting sector requirements or free electives out of the way, just because it can get kind of stressful to keep 3 classes that are kind of difficult in check. It's way easier to put most of your energy between 2 hard classes, and then the rest of it goes towards getting things done in your other classes. That's just my personal thing. It varies for everyone, but that's just my personal limit, I guess. Definitely know what you're going into, have a plan of how you're going to get things done, and make sure you're not going to be overwhelmed, basically. Okay, and that's basically all the big tips. I also want to add like a few random tips in real quick. First of all, when you first get to Penn, make sure you explore Van Pelt and figure out where you're comfortable studying at. Usually I study on the second floor Lippincott Library and other places within the library, but explore Van Pelt, figure out where you're going to study, and make sure you get a good feel, because you're going to be there a lot. Outside of that, I would say take math with Rimmer. He's a good math teacher. He has like a whole YouTube channel dedicated to math. Also, even if you're not taking math with Rimmer, make sure you get his his calculus workbook. It literally has a bunch of exam type questions, and each page shows you how to do it on the back page. So it's just a really good way to study, and like it keeps you on track. Even if you don't have time to go to like office hours or something, you still have a book that has exam questions and teach you exactly how to do them. Make sure you focus on and kind of study extensively for your language placement test, because honestly it could get you out of a lot of classes. Like I wish I would have went and reviewed Spanish a little bit more before I took mine. Almost done with it. I'm going to finish it this summer, but it just would have taken some stress off of me if I would have studied and maybe gotten placed into the last level or the second to last level instead. Also, if you ever have any problems academically, make sure to contact Dr. Kumar. She works at the Weingarten Center, and she's just a really good resource. She can sit down and just talk to you about what you've been doing in class and how to improve, and that's really helpful. Also, don't be afraid to drop a course. Sometimes, like I said, you might get overwhelmed and you might just need to drop a course, or you just might not be fit for that course right now. You can drop a course, it's not the end of the world. Also, use Penn Course Review when you're choosing your classes. It gives ratings on the difficulty of the classes, the quality of the professor, and many other things. Yeah, okay, and basically that's it. That was Penn Academics, how it works and how to succeed. Hopefully some of these tips will help y'all adjust to Penn's academics when y'all get here. I know these are just things that I wish I would have understood and been thinking about before I got here, and it could have made my adjustment a little bit easier, but either way, don't be intimidated. It's definitely possible to succeed at Penn. All you gotta do is put the work in and be efficient. But yeah, if you have any other video ideas or things you'd like to see, just leave them in the comments and let me know. And yeah, have a good day.